A fan letter to Direwolf20. So, I'm a forge crafter now. I've been a forge crafter for more than a year, and you'd think that this kind of stuff would just settle in and become routine. Get used to the people that you hang out with, but there's still a point where I am personally amazed when little old me gets asked to participate in something like Wrenched, what debuted this morning on Direwolf20's channel. I'm just some voice in the crowd, some random person in the darkness. That's it. I don't consider myself to be one of the big kids now. I still think of myself as the little guy trying to keep up. And Direwolf20 was the guy that I started watching really hard. Started watching modded Minecraft on. He's the thing that one of the people that really got me absorbed into that. And I still find it amazing that he can keep the pace that he does with the videos and all of the work, and still finding time for his family and keeping quality family-friendly content. That means a lot to me. So I wanted to do something for you, Dyer, but I don't know what. One of the biggest things that I actually have that goes to my benefit is my building skills. I can't keep up with you technically. You know more mods and you know better. You know more about those mods than I do. And that's an area that I can't compete in. But maybe I can help you with some aesthetics. Maybe I can make a better 9x9. And that's when I started thinking. So I built, and I came up with the standard design. Now, this is just me shooting rooms off of this one central building, but this is all cobblestone and stone slabs. That's it. This is just chisel, cobblestone. And I know that chisel isn't in 194 right now, or 1.9x, but it will be there very soon, I'm quite sure. Chisel blocks of cobblestone, cobblestone, cobblestone. This is all just cobblestone. Even the glass, you could put regular glass instead of white stained glass, but that's just Minecraft. You can do that with a little bit of bone meal starting off. These right here, I figure you start off putting torches until you actually get a nether portal, and then the nether portal can actually let you replace them with glowstone, which means this design, basically the roof stays lit up, as does the interior. A little bit of aesthetical improvement. You don't technically need this glowstone in the middle. I'm doing it purely for decoration because these on the outside actually light up the entire room. And as I said, they light up the inside as well as the outside. You can still see the weather and what's going on, what time of day it is. But it's still your typical 9x9. These are just stone slabs that have been used as a little bit of a pass-through. So you can still see what's going on. People can still see you moving from building to building. But very simple. It's just a basic stone slab, nothing fancy. The design in the room on the floor lets you put a row of machines against the wall, and you still have a kind of an eye-catching, interesting design on the floor out from them. And again, this is a really just simple setup and a simple layout of 9x9 buildings. That's it. So I figured you could offset them or just center them and chain them as long as you wanted to, or as many rooms as you wanted to. But then I started to remember, you're not really doing the base and all of the internal builds as much anymore. You're actually more about yard space now. You're more about open concept. You've been doing a lot more stuff in a lot more kind of open, free-flowing areas. So I decided to alter my design specs a little bit, which is where I came up with Dire Compound. Now, what is that? That must be eerie. Anyway, that must be an eerie biome that's spreading. This is basically my concept for a Direwolf20 compound. This is the exact same building. All of these buildings are 9x9. Some are a little taller, but they're all basically 9x9. Same repeating design over and over again. The only blocks I'm using here, cobblestone, 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 glowstone, optional, glass, stone slab, stone brick walls, torches, and one lone fence gate somewhere at the back. The walls are specifically designed to intercept these nasty arrows that we get from the new skeletons in 1.9. You don't have to worry about the bad guys coming in. You put a door right here, you have space for an actual pressure plate, and you have a secure compound. The design is extensible and repeatable. So basically, in these corner areas, there are 9 blocks in between each of these actual placeholder columns. The placeholder columns denote 9 by 9 spaces, with one line of dead space right between them. Central path, optional, don't have to do it, but I did it for the sake of being able to have something to actually hide the glowstone in, so you can actually light up more of the yard. And I can show you right now, if I go out here and I hit F7, you can see a nice big chunk of the front yard is actually lit up. And with a nice front door, iron door maybe, you would have a secure compound. The entire inside is lit up, as are all the building spaces. So we actually have 2 different buildings here that you can go in. There is kind of an entrance here, a front entrance, and there's a side entrance right here, a nice simple step up. This is a 2-floor structure. I did a double banded floor space in between these. Specifically, it's too thick for the sake of running cables and hiding conduits, to give you more space to run things between floors and hide things within the floors. Nice big window to be able to look out onto the yard and see what's going on. Now, I figure you could put a hatch here and actually use the roof if you so wanted, but you don't have to. Now, you have another partner building over here, which is straight up, no second floor, pure vertical space. I put the window for the sake of aesthetics and balancing the visuals of the buildings as you see them later on. You can't tell that there's no second floor in this. It's just open space, and that's the point. It's supposed to be similar in design outside. You can't really tell. I figure you could use this to store an AE system and a lot of the aesthetics. You could put a big chunk of power generation in here if you don't put it underground. There's a lot of things you could do in here. I could see sorting systems, processing systems, automatic ore processing chains, all sorts of stuff in this building or that building. You have a lot of yard space to make use of things like, let's say, some magic mods. Now, I realize that this is not a lot of yard space when you start dealing with, let's say, blood magic. But all you have to do is extend support post, 9 wall blocks, support post, 9 wall blocks, support post, 9 wall blocks. That's it. And the entire design repeats out and spaces out perfectly. How perfectly? Well, let me show you the back section. This takes you to the back section. The center is inside the walls is a 9 by 9 space that's actually made for your farm animals, sheep, cow, whatever. Nice block off. And because of how this works, even if they get up on this little half block ledge right here, they can't jump over it, because it's still a stone brick wall. And it lets you see through. It doesn't feel completely isolated and blocked off. Over here, 9 by 9 block space of farm. There is even a little bit of glowstone right under the water. And this half step is just enough that you won't damage crops coming down off of it. And you have a same identical mirrored farm space over here. I figure one could be used for food and general vanilla things, potatoes, carrots, wheat, etc. And the other one could be used for specialty crops, maybe flowers or from, say, witchery, or other specialty plants from agricraft, etc., etc. You have space just out front here. You actually could put some storage blocks right up here against the wall, say storage drawers, Java barrels, what have you. And even hang some tools, if you wanted to, along some of these actual support walls. And still have space within the adjacent buildings. Now, if you wanted to, you could knock a slight door right out here into one of the farms. You could even do the same thing on the other side if you wanted. So I realize it's not perfect, but it's adaptable. It is something that works within the best system of math that you seem to know, Dyer. 9 blocks by 9 blocks. Everything you see here within the actual gaps between these supports That's a 9-block stretch. Each of these buildings is 9 by 9. They just happen to be really tall. The main front entrance is 9 blocks. And because of how this actually works, you only need one front door, and you still have a safe yard to play in. Anyway, I just wanted to say, really, thank you for all that you do, and thank you for all that you've done for me. And the opportunities that you give me is a little fish in a big pond. I would love to do some more aesthetic building for you. I would love to make a better 9 by 9 for you. Just let me know. I'm just raring at the opportunity. Anyway, think about it, Dyer. I do think this is a good design. I think it's something you could use. You can stretch out and enlarge it as much as you want to, and it'll work. I'm going to talk to you later. In the meantime, I'm going to do more building and find more inspiration. Thanks again, Dyer.